Poppy. Look at his little nose, my roommate purred as she cradled the kitten in her arms. And his ears. Case, isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? It was cute, I had to admit, but I was less than thrilled that Raina had snuck a cat into our dorm. It's not that I don't like cats, although I am a bit more of a dog person. It's that as I watched my fun, flirty, absolutely flaky roommate cuddle the little calico, I knew I would be the one to take care of it. We could put a litter box and food bowls under your bed so the RA doesn't notice, Raina said. My bed? What's wrong with yours? But Raina was already on her hands and knees pulling my storage bins out from under my bed. You have those risers. A little box wouldn't fit under mine. It's not like we couldn't move them to your bed, I muttered. The kitten darted under my bed as soon as Raina moved the first box. See? Poppy loves it under there, she cooed, and reached under the bed after him. I heard a hiss, and Raina jerked her hand back. I saw a bright red scratch on the back of her hand. I raised my eyebrows. Raina looked at me. He's just scared, she pouted. Can we keep him, please? I rolled my eyes. Fine. You're taking care of him, though. I don't have time for a pet right now. Raina squealed and threw her arms round me. You're the best roomie. I know you're going to fall in love with Poppy. Where do you get him, anyway? Some pet adoption event down on Main Street. It's the saddest thing. They said his owners died in a fire. 2 parents and a child, and all they found was the little kitten hiding under the rubble. Poor Poppy. He must miss his owners so much. Raina spent the rest of the day buying litter and food and sneaking it back into our room. I lay on my bed reading. My boyfriend was out of town for the weekend, visiting his brother, and I didn't really feel like socialising. Poppy didn't come out from under the bed the whole day, though I could hear him whining and scratching at the slats underneath my mattress. That was going to get annoying. Sure enough, that night I woke up about 6 times. The first few times from the incessant scratching. Then, around 2 a.m, Poppy worked up the courage to come out from underneath the bed, perched up on my headboard and pounced right onto my face. I swore and sat straight up in bed. Geez, Poppy, get a grip, I muttered, and picked up the squirming kitten. He gave me a resentful look before swiping casually at my face. I gently dropped him onto the floor, and he scurried back under the bed. The next time I awoke, I wasn't sure why at first. I felt an odd feeling, like something was watching me. So I rolled over in bed. There, in the middle of the room, was Poppy. His eyes glowed, standing out like beacons in the shadows. It looked creepy. I held my hand out. Here, Poppy. Poppy stayed perfectly still, watching me. I got goosebumps as I watched his wide, unmoving eyes. Cats are so freaking weird, I thought, and rolled back over and fell asleep. The next morning I woke up to Raina throwing some clothes in a suitcase. Me and Mike are going to his parents' beach house for the rest of the weekend. It's so nice there, she gushed, although it's too late in the year to swim or tan or anything. I was annoyed. Aren't you forgetting something? What? You just brought home a kitten yesterday, and you said I wouldn't be the one taking care of it. Casey, don't be a brat. You won't have to do anything, I promise. Why should I believe you now? You always do this. Frustrated, I threw on some clothes and left the dorm without another word. Sure, she could leave the cat with enough food and water for the weekend, but I was still annoyed that she was going away so soon after claiming responsibility. I put on my headphones and walked around campus until I felt better. I didn't know why I was so worked up, but the last few weeks have been trying, to say the least. I wanted to apologise for being short with Raina when I got back to the dorms, but she was already gone. I ducked my head down to look under the bed and saw Poppy's glowing eyes staring back at me. You're a creepy cat, I said. Then I noticed his food and water was almost gone. My anger boiled up again. It hasn't even been 24 hours and I'm already the one taking care of this cat. I refilled the bowl and hopped upon my bed, dozing to the sound of Poppy lapping at his water. My eyelids felt heavy, and I fell asleep immediately. When I woke, it was dark already. Oh, great. I just lost a whole day. I heard scratching beneath me. I wondered if I'd have to pay the school for damage done to the bed frame. Poppy whined, a low, mournful wail. On the pillow next to me, my phone lit up and vibrated. I wondered if that was what had woken me. I picked it up to see a text from Raina. Poppy's so freaking cute. I rolled my eyes and unlocked the phone to message her back. That's when I saw the other text. Poppy hated the car ride to the beach. He's hiding up on top of the bookshelf. LOL. My breath caught in my throat. What was she talking about? She didn't take Poppy with her. I could hear him beneath my bed. Long, slow scratches. Blood was pounding in my ears as I typed in my message and hit reply. What are you talking about? Did you take the cat with you? Seconds passed. I bit my lip as the scratching got louder, faster. My phone buzzed. Yeah, I told you I'd take care of him so you don't have to. I sent back another text. Don't joke with me. Another text arrived. WTF, Case. Why would I lie about this? I'll send you a pic. No picture arrived. Damn reception, I thought. Pictures always took longer to send than texts. Fear gripped me as I hear a low moan come from under my bed. My heart was beating frantically, and I was scared to put my feet over the edge of the bed or make a run for the door. My door was cracked open, and a thin beam of light shone out from the hallway. I was relieved for that, at least. The room would be pitch black otherwise. Then, right beneath where I sat, I heard this loud hiss. That did it. My muscles coiled, and I leapt out of bed, landing clear across the room, just steps away from the door. I swung it open, and the room flooded with light. Before I sped away down the hall, I turned for a brief moment, and a blur of movement caught my eye. A shadow had just darted out from under the bed. It was Poppy. He sat casually in the middle of the now lit room, licking his front paw. He looked like a completely normal calico kitten. I stared in confusion, my pulse still racing. Then, my phone, still clutching tightly in my hand, buzzed. I looked down at the screen and almost dropped the phone in shock. It was the photo Raina tried to send just a few minutes earlier. The photo was taken at a low angle, showing the top of a bookshelf. It was a grainy image, but it was clear that whatever was perched on top of the bookshelf was not a cat. It looked like a thin, hunched, human-like figure, but it was as small as a young child. Its skin looked dark and cracked, as if it had been in a fire. I couldn't make out the features, but 2 pinpoints of light peered from its face where the eyes should be. It was looking straight at the camera. Instead of texting Raina back, I dialed her number with shaking hands. On the second ring, she picked up. "What's your problem, Case?" she said. "Get out of the house now," I said urgently. What are you talking about? Get Mike and get out, now." "I just don't understand. What the hell are—" "Poppy's right here. I'm looking at him. I don't know what you took with you, but it's not your cat." "What game are you playing, Case?" Raina raised her voice, furious. Instead of arguing further, I hung up, grabbed Poppy and snapped a photo of him as proof. I hit send and waited. Raina didn't call back, and when I tried to dial her again, she didn't pick up. I didn't know if I should call the police, or call Ryan, or even call my mum just to hear a comforting voice. So I called no one. I was scared. I hugged Poppy to me, despite his squirming protests, and curled up on my bed. I didn't sleep. In the morning, just before sunrise, Raina came home. Her face was white, and her eyes looked bloodshot. She took one look at me, saw Poppy, and said shakily, "Get that thing away from me." I sat up. Are you okay? She shook her head and collapsed on the bed. I didn't press further. Raina didn't seem to want to talk, and maybe I didn't want to know what had happened. I took Poppy to the shelter that morning. I felt bad for the poor little guy, but the woman at the shelter assured me that young kittens get adopted out almost instantly. I just hoped that whatever that thing was, it wouldn't find its way back. I saw Mike later that day. I didn't press him for information, but I overheard someone say his beach house had burned down the night before. They were lucky to make it out alive.